Moving to examine the West Bank now, we note that it is divided into 3 zones, A, B, and C. Area A is governed by the Palestinian Authority. Just like in Gaza, no Jews are allowed to live in Area A at all, and Israelis are banned from even entering. On the rare occasion that a Jewish person has accidentally wandered into this area, they were brutally murdered by innocent civilians for no other reason than being a Jew. Area B is also governed by the Palestinian Authority, but Israelis are allowed to circulate there. The final section, Area C, accounts for approximately 60% of the West Bank. It is under the control of the Israeli government. A very small amount of Palestinians live in this area, approximately 5%, and this is where the infamous settlements are located. I'd like to take this opportunity to quickly expose an additional falsity here before continuing. These infamous settlements, which are the subject of so much contention, make up less than 1.4% of the so-called West Bank, and every one of them is in an area that has historically been Jewish for literally thousands of years, and which were always intended to be part of the State of Israel. What we call settlements in Israel, in every other country on earth, are just called neighborhoods. These are just people who built homes and communities on a parcel of land in their country. But anyway, getting back to this specific division of the West Bank, it was agreed upon in 1995 in the Oslo Accords. It was agreed to both by Israel and by the PLO as a temporary solution while negotiations continued over the status of these areas. Therefore, these zones or territories are officially considered under dispute, according to international law. They're considered territories under dispute. Little side note here in case you're interested. We hardly ever hear about any other similar land disputes in the world. Surprisingly, though, there are in fact close to 200 different ongoing disputes regarding territories, including some even between different states of the U.S. For example, the Texas-New Mexico Panhandle border is in dispute. According to Wikipedia, the border was defined as the 103rd meridian, but an 1859 survey marked it too far west, mistakenly putting present-day towns of Farwell, Texline, and a part of Glen Rio in Texas. New Mexico's draft constitution used the 103rd meridian as intended. The New Mexico Senate passed a bill to file a lawsuit to recover the strip, but it has not become law, so the land and towns are currently administered by Texas. Other examples of the 200 or so land disputes include one over Lake Constance, which is claimed by both Switzerland and Austria, as well as over Hans Island, claimed by both Canada and the Kingdom of Denmark on behalf of Greenland. But I digress. The majority of Palestinians, about 95%, live under a Palestinian government in Zones A and B, as well as in Gaza. Zones A and B in the so-called West Bank are governed by Mahmoud Abbas, and Gaza is, as we discussed, Hamas. The West Bank Palestinians have never been Israeli citizens, and they don't want Israeli citizenship. So when you hear about the restrictions of movement between the Palestinian territories and Israel, this is essentially just a border checkpoint. Every country has checkpoints at their borders for non-citizens, because it is necessary for every government to protect its citizens. Furthermore, in Israel, it is a very prominent necessity for the security of Israeli citizens, including Palestinian Israeli citizens. It is not based upon race, but rather on citizenship. It is nothing more sinister than a checkpoint at the border to prevent war weapons entering. And for the record, it happens to be extremely effective in that regard.